go across the pond so we can then go down under. That's pretty cool.
Yes, yeah, that is really what we thought we'd do. So our canine friend wanted to say hello today as well. So there you go, you make good intro. So there you go. He's done his part. So that's the cameo he had. He just really wanted to do this. So yeah, I believe traditionally in Australia, when you out, and I think quite often, I think one of our Joeys tonight has actually brought some ales, and I see you brought also the balls with you, kangaroo balls, opener, courtesy of Sam Bruce. So yeah, so it is
wait, kangaroo balls? Like
kangaroo balls. So traditionally Australian, so apparently a thing over there. So Phil, there you go, cheers. So you won't dry out.
Yeah, and say good day to y'all.
Good day, mate.
Good day, mate.
So out of character that we're having drinks with Crystal Classics.
Hey, we've got to keep up the tradition now.
We can't disappoint, possibly. Oh, and I have one more thing before we can properly start. Phil, I know you complained so bitterly that you could not see the top shelf.
Exactly.
So hence I took you a little or something.
Yeah,
so
thank you very much. That's greatly appreciated. I hope it's enough, I'm not sure. I'll give it a try.
Yeah, just be careful there.
Oh, yeah, it's a bit cold up here, but yeah. But,
Hey, Phil, come on, sing the Oompa Loompa song for us.
Right, enough of the banter, so let's get back on track. And we start in our usual manner, and we will start with showing around the case, giving you guys an overview, and then we go back to the most enticing specimens, the ones we deem very interesting, or when Peter and Lauren say, oh, hang on, we need to talk about specimen, then we will do that, of course. So for now, we give you an overcast while Phil is rehearsing a few details about the mining and the localities that we have in our showcase, and possibly some of the collections where we have established from. So there you go, and I let Phil take it away.
Yeah, thanks very much, Diana. Well, Australia, I don't think I need to explain where it is. Everyone's familiar with that, but it's a very isolated landmass, and it's really remained very unchanged throughout geological time. So a lot of the deposits there, and you'll see tonight we have a lot from Broken Hill, which is probably one of the most famous deposits in Australia, if not the world, and an ore body that's been examined extensively. It's really remained unchanged for a lot of geological history. And we'll move round. We're looking at a rum jungle, I think now, pyramorphite. We've got a beautiful opal here, a typical wolfenite from Wim Creek, a gold, one or two oddball specimens from one from Endeavour mine, a beautiful pyramorphite that you don't see often now. But as I say, the majority of it is the remarkable body at Broken Hill, of which Crystal Classics has been fortunate to have got some great specimens over the years. The biggest catch really was the Milton Lavers collection, which was very famous. And I think there's quite a few specimens dotted amongst these that originate from that. So you can just see you'll see typical things from Broken Hill, and we have some of the more unusual as well. I don't know, it's one of those localities that people love to collect from, and I've put together a collection of probably a couple of hundred specimens in my own collection over the years I've been interested in minerals.
Yeah, I think, and one thing I want to add with the Milton Lavers collection, which was certainly one of the prizes, as you so say, and we would probably straight go back into the case and pick a few specimens to have a look at. Milton Lavers had amassed a collection of over 5,000 specimens, built his own museum because he was really so enthusiastic and didn't want to withhold that. So I think he opened his museum, not in later years, but certainly in the early years, he had this private museum and very much encouraged visitors.
Yes.
And was really happy to show off what he had amassed. And there were some very obvious, pretty and very displayable specimens, but also specimens that would have more of a very specialist thing to them. So one specimen, I quite like this, is the Anglicite that we see here. And if you can see those really, really fine crystals, I mean, of really almost gemmy, gem quality Anglicites.
And very unusual, in fact, that the green as well. I might be wrong, but I think it's the only locality in the world where you get green Anglesite like this. I don't know if anyone watching can help out. I honestly don't know what's colouring it green. There seems to be no confirmed decision on what it is. And you know how colour can be so complex in minerals, and I feel it's still something not yet determined. They're very rare, these. I think they only came from one isolated occurrence, but they are very beautiful, particularly when they contrast against the dark matrix.
Oh yeah, no, it's a fantastic combination.
Yes. So why don't we start it with this way? Did you, Peter or Lauren, did you see anything that you would really like to talk about? What would you find? I mean, we have certainly our favorites, but why don't you put the ball in your corner and you have a good look or follow the camera?
I have to say, I love the atacamite in the bottom right. It was actually really cool. The large crystal.
On my list as well. That is on my list as well.
Oh, just like the spray plus
wonderful specimen again. So
Great. Sounds like we're having a little bit of a connection issue with Deanna, but at least we've got the specimen on the screen. Oh, we're back.
Okay. So
go.
Here we are. So are you guys? You can hear us, all right?
Yes.
We can now. Yep.
Yes. Okay. So I mean, the atacamite is really nice, and then you have this little bug that really displays the crystals nicely, and then just on the edge, sort of makes it really a three-dimensional specimen. You have those crystals that are probably up almost to 3 centimeters, if not a little larger, and good terminations and really nice finishes. So they are all intact. So it's really a superb small specimen, and that displays beautifully.
Yeah, the contrast too with the matrix and just having those distinct crystal spray on that side. I love those weird ones. And that one's from Mount Gunnison?
Yes,
it is.
It is.
Yeah.
Well spotted.
Which is an old mine that was discovered in, I think it was the end of the 1800s, a copper mine. So a pretty old mine as far as Australia goes.
Yeah, it would have been towards the cap too.
So as long as you're on the bottom right, that's a mimetite with malachite from Rum Jungle?
It's a paramorphite, I think.
Pyromorphite from jungle.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. So we have the pyromorphite here, and there you almost have, it looks like you have 2 generations. So you have really sort of some lighter, paler colored pyromorphite crystals on the top, and then you have those really nice green, vibrant colored pyromorphites further down. So, and then the nice botryoidal, very velvety, shiny malachite that really offsets. It's a nice contrast again. So that seems to be working really for our displays. And I'm certainly always intrigued by specimens that build contrast, 2 species, 3 species, where you have strong color contrasts or even shapes with crystals.
Then a little cerussite thrown in for good measure on the bottom?
Yeah, good spot right here. You have cerussite and here.
I just, the combination there, the different textures, the color, the chemistry there is super interesting too. Oh, love that piece.
And then if you go up to the top shelf down there, there's another big piece from the same locality.
And there again, it looks totally different. Again, the malachite, botryoidal malachite, really richly covered with the pyromorphite crystals. And here a little bit of a stronger green, sort of more typical, I guess, for what you see for pyromorphites. Certainly when you look at the greener color range for them. So nice large cabinet. I think that one has probably 16, 17 centimeters for those who are watching. So in stands quite tall, a nice display specimen.
Yeah, that would be a great anchor specimen in a case.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I think this is always so important. I mean, I think we always talk about the minerals, and it is so important also to talk about how to display them, because you can have literally really amazing specimens in your display or in your collection, but if they are not displayed in a certain way, I think you almost lose a little bit of their attraction. So it is very important to balance them right, or group them together and have this nice organic mix of some large display pieces down to even a super cool thumbnail, because a lot of specimens, we always forget, do not come in the largest sizes. Some of the species, they are only available as thumbnails or even into the microscopic range.
Absolutely, yeah. I think while we're over on that side, on the right near you, it might be worth looking at the copper there, because that was something UK Mining Ventures was very much involved in. That's from the Rocklands copper mine. I don't know if it's still operating now. I think it probably is, but we had a couple of guys go over in our summer of 2017 while they were going to this copper enriched zone at the mine. That's up in Queensland, in a very hot area of Australia. And as you can see from this, absolutely wonderful crystallized native coppers from there. It was a sort of limited mineralogy. Chalcocite was found, and one or two very minor things with it, but it was the vast majority with these crystallized native coppers.
Yes, and talking about chalcocite, I think we have one actually here in display as well. So, and there we are again. So Lauren will love those. She loves those little.
Yeah, really nice, crisp, really nice, crisp crystal. I can speak.
Yeah, very, very sharp indeed. And but there again, here we are. So that is a small toenail size specimen, but it speaks for itself. It is just literally, it is so nice to have those scattered amongst in our displays, and just for the completion also of rounding them off. That's really nice. This is also a wonderful specimen. I always am a big fan of Hedenbergite, just because of the name. It's on its own, it just rolls off the tongue for German. Hedenbergite. So hence these are wonderful specimens, and there's this sheer variety also that really Broken Hill has produced.
Yes, and that's people unfamiliar with this species. It's in the pyroxene family, and Broken Hill, it has a lot of these complex, a real mixture of rock types, because the deposit itself, it's about 1,800 million years old. It's a very, very old ore deposit, and subsequently it's gone through many stages of metamorphism, and so you get all these different metamorphic suites within it. So it produces some really interesting rock types and crystallized rocks as well as minerals.
Well, let's stay then in Broken Hill, and let's have a look at some of the other ones that I'm sure also Peter would appreciate, looking at this Lunarite with brochantite.
Who doesn't love Lunarite?
Yeah, it's just, this color is just something else.
If you ever have a chance to get underground Broken Hill, there are in some of the ore bodies, there are Bustamite crystals that are as much as 8 meters long, frozen in the walls with beautiful little red spessartines all over them. It's just spectacular. Did this come out?
That makes the Bustamite we've got seem quite small now.
Did this come out? Did this come out of the Kintor open cut? Is that where that one's from?
Notice the MMM mine.
Oh, the MMM mine. That is the Kintor cut.
Oh, right.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
And then we have a Bustamite with, Bustamite with calcite.
Mm-hmm.
As you say, a rather tiny one in the comparison to the size you just mentioned, Peter.
But a bit more manageable.
Yeah, I would say so. Far easier to display on a shelf.
I mean, the ones in the walls are the size of an Airstream trailer, so I mean, it's not exactly something you can pick up and carry around with you.
Well, you can recreate then your own mine at home.
That's quite amazing, though, you say that, Peter, because, I mean, we're all familiar with beryl crystals, which grow to that sort of size, but I must admit, I didn't know Bustamite did that. That's remarkable.
Yeah, one of the questions about Broken Hill has always been how much of the giant crystals are actually, how much is metamorphic and how much is the original alteration mineralogy. And it's probably a healthy combination of both.
Yeah. It did. I mean, I don't think they're even dead sure of the origins of Broken Hill because of all the stages it's been through. I think they think it's the Sedex deposit originally, but, through the metal content in it. But I don't think even that's established probably yet. It's one of those things that's always under debate. So.
Oh, absolutely. And including the fact that even the term Sedex is now under a fair amount of fire from the world of people who work in those deposits. So,
hey, I think if you'd like to go in here, Verity, there's two interesting things here. One is here a Stolzite, which of course is a Broken Hill classic, and that's a really nice, rich one. You can see all the orange crystals on it.
Yeah.
That's a lead tungstate mineral for anyone unfamiliar with it. It always looks a bit like wolfenite, but it's not. So.
Do I remember seeing an interesting wolfenite I think it's in the shelf above?
Whim Creek piece?
I think it's Wolf Creek, isn't it?
Whim Creek.
Okay.
WHIM, yeah.
Yeah, that's out in Western Australia. That's a really rich piece for there. Usually more isolated.
Yeah. Even on the back, you have almost the largest crystal is probably around the back here.
Yeah, and I can see another one, big one there. It is superb, but it's beautiful. It really is.
Those are pretty robust crystals too, as well. Or at least it looks like from here.
Yeah, you're right with that, Lauren, because sometimes you can often get it on that sort of black, sooty, oxidized matrix where it is quite friable. But it's a chunky old piece, this, and it's it's not going to break up at all.
Lovely, this one. And then you wanted to point out the other specimen.
Yeah, I wanted to. It's just a bit of an unusual one. Again, it's a Broken Hill classic, which is lead-rich orthoclase, and it occurs in these green crystals, plumbium orthoclase, and I think you do get it at other localities, but not many. And this one's from the Zinc Corporation mine at Broken Hill. Incidentally, again, I know lots of viewers will be familiar with this mine, but there'll be many that aren't. And basically, the ore body it's not really, to use an Australian analogy, it's the shape of a boomerang. It's a big anticlinal structure where the if I do that with my hand like a boomerang, the top of it peeked through the surface of the earth and created the mountains that revealed the ore body. So you get all the like Kintor open pits at that shallow part, and then on the limbs of the anticline where they're dipping deep underground, you get much deeper mines running. And that's why you get this huge number of different mine names, because they're running along the lode there. So it's a massive, a lot of mines running, exploiting a very big ore body.
And
Lauren, if you like dark minerals, as I believe you do, this is a nice one here. This, which I'm sure you're familiar with, goethite, coating cerussite, pseudomorphin after anglesite, and it just produces such beautiful sharp crystals that are amazing.
sharp crystals and really interesting paragenesis too. You kind of get to see these repeating, overlapping, changing, you know, a big system, a big mine is the result of complex geology and multiple pulses of interesting things happening. And that's how you get these fascinating specimens to come out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, they are gorgeous things. These, even I think for people who don't like these dark minerals, it's just the crispness of the pseudomorphs. They just, you know, as if they've been machined almost. They are wonderful. So anything else, Rob, we take over? Any other requests?
Yes, absolutely. Go for some color. Show us that boulder opal up on top.
Oh, the opal. Yeah, that's gorgeous.
Some color. There we have some color.
Oh yeah.
Very nice play, and this iridescence is just really catches your eye. I always like to put it sort of somewhere on the top shelf. What do I not like to put on the top shelf? It seems to be a habit of mine. The best minerals are always on the top shelf.
That's so I can't take them, you see.
Yeah, but now you're safe,
yeah,
Phil, with that little footstool. Yeah, you're good. Yeah. So yeah.
I was also.
You go, Lauren.
Oh, I was saying after the opal, there was a pink sort of C-shaped, sort of serpentine colored mineral on the right, bottom right, maybe it was, or like a middle right.
Was it that one?
This one?
That one, yeah.
Oh.
I thought that was just a fantastic shape and sort of an interesting specimen.
Rhodochrosite, yes.
Yeah.
So, and the other one as well. So, so yeah, 2 rhodochrosites. So very different looking. So this is more of a sort of pastel-y, almost strawberry ice cream color, while this is really sort of more of a, I don't know, what's this, raspberry sorbet.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. And I thought it looked at the shape.
You're making me hungry, Deanna. It's not fair.
Stop with food. Phil always likes to associate minerals with food.
Yep. No, that's just that's a fun specimen, and kind of almost reminds me of some of the Santolalia material.
Yes, yeah, definitely. So there we have those. What else have we got that's super interesting? I mean, they're all interesting in their own right. I think there's nothing. Well, we definitely need to take one of those question garnets, I think, because they are really. This one is one that's very richly covered with multiple crystals. So, which is very nice to see, and yeah, this deep. What would you call that red?
It's almost like a mulberry red, I think, or a very deep raspberry. I think.
So large crystals. I mean,
somewhere between Cabernet and Malbec.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we're getting. I think we could make this work sort of with food and wine related.
Yes,
so.
Definitely. And if I just pull this one out, there's another nice one here if I'll bring to the front, which is...
Oh, yeah, that's...
I love how that just sits perched on top there.
Yeah. And you must have one of the... You have a rhodonite in there from there, too, don't you? About the same size as the garnet?
Oh, yeah.
Just there.
Uh-huh.
That is... intense in the color. I hope one sees that really on their screens, just how red this is. It's just really pops.
Yeah, definitely red, not pink.
Yes.
Definitely.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Here's just something else from Broken Hill from the Triple M mine. One of these, you know, you get these chocolatey coloured pyromorphites from there, which I know they're not unique to Broken Hill. You get German ones as well, but it is so characteristic of some of the ore body there. But of course, the range of colours of pyromorphites are vast at Broken Hill, from these even much more intensely like a dark chocolate brown up to brilliant lime greens. So you could almost just collect a suite of those from there and nothing else, and it'd be fabulous.
So am I right in seeing there that you've got the first stage, which is sort of the elongate, blockier pyromorphite, and then it's got littler ones that are kind of sitting there as crowns on the top?
Yes, exactly. It's a sort of almost like a dendritic overgrowth on them. So, yeah, you're dead right. They're like the spiky crystals, like cactus, really. Cactus type crystals. Yeah. So what else now? What else?
I've made a little cute smithsonite.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
I'm always a fan of smithsonite. It comes in various colors, nice shapes. So smithsonite is cool. And these ones are sort of little bow tie crystals. They sprays rather than botryoidal.
Nice.
There again, a bit that, like you said before, it reminded you of some of the Laurium material, and that does me the lovely Amtech smithsonite you get from around Kamaritsa and whatnot, and it sort of takes me back to being there almost.
The setup on that's very cute.
Yeah.
And another couple of nice things, and they're quite contrasting too, that you don't often see, well, I don't anyway, from Broken Hill, are two amethysts, and you've got this very sort of intensely deep one here, which is rather lovely. And then Diana's just getting a much paler one, which is subtle and very beautiful.
But there you have the rhodochrosite sort of framing it. So that's really interesting.
And is there another mineral that's on there, or is it just the amethyst and the rhodochrosite? Looks like there's something else.
I don't know. I think it just is the rhodochrosite and then just some paler quartzes dotted in between, sort of. Sort of that are so just translucent.
I don't know. I know there's those like darker minerals, and whether it's like goethite or conronidite, I'm not sure, but.
I'm just noticing some great sparkle feedback. So.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I think we have almost covered every specimen. I think people would probably also appreciate seeing the mimetites from the Endeavour mine or Eularia mine. Elura mine, sorry.
Yeah, that was a mine. It was originally called Eularia mine, and then I think it changed ownership, and it was called Endeavour mine from then on.
The color there is just fantastic.
It's very distinct. I think once you know how they look, you almost 100% can recognize that color. It's just so distinct.
And you can see what lovely sort of chunky prisms they are too. They're really just really.
You're hungry, aren't you?
Yeah.
I think tomorrow I have to get some snack packs with us, sort of.
And if you just I was going to point that one out. There's one of the limey green pyromorphites from Broken Hill as well. And if you put it in contrast to this one, if I move that to the front, those are both from Broken Hill, and you can see how it varies with a whole spectrum of colours in between, really.
That's a great comparison.
Yeah.
So Deanna, we're winding down to the end of our time. Do you have maybe one or two other pieces that you want to share with us?
Well, I would personally probably just point out the classic gold, native gold, Western Australia. I think that is what the majority of our viewers probably associates also with Australia. Sort of people would go out and just find gold, and there were and there is still spectacular finds to be made. So hence, this is just a small representative of the many gold specimens that are found or can still be found with a bit of luck. So I think that's quite sweet.
Hey, from where I'm stood, it matches Diana's blouse very nicely now, if you want to do a quick comparison.
Yeah, I usually try to color coordinate
with
the theme, you know. I mean, sort of out-bush outfit, golden. At least something will put me up. So there's those. And then one other specimen I think I would like to also quickly show is another really nice species contrast, azurite malachite, block 14, Broken Hill. Some cerussites here in the sides as well. So you can see those crystals here. But again, that's also a specimen I think always associated with when you think of Broken Hill.
It is. And following, we just show that at the end then, that we've not seen any azurite. I mean, I don't know, you know, I'd like your opinion, Peter, because you've obviously been there and I've not. But I always imagine there's a lot of azurite there, but I don't tend to see it. Have you any opinion on that?
No, I would basically echo your comment, Phil, that there is a copper-rich part of the Broken Hill ore body that's oxidized, and there should be a lot more azurite on the market than there is. But azurite's one of those things that people hang on to. They don't let go if they don't have to. So
yes.
It may just be people are hanging on to it.
True enough. Yeah,
just a smaller little fella, which is also very, very pretty. Almost like it looks almost like sort of roots, like dried moss. It's growing on. So again, very favored by me when you have two species that build a contrast, or three in this case, sort of where you really see how things are formed and geology at its finest, really.
Yeah.